Hello, Stitchy friends. My name is Andrew. This is the Runner Stitcher, and this is my dog Winston. We are here for our Tuesday, July 16th Flosstube update. Hard to believe it's already the middle of July. I hope you guys are all having a really good summer so far. Hope you enjoyed, if you're here in the States, I hope you enjoyed the holiday over the 4th. Got some time off and just got to relax and enjoy. I know that for us, we just had a very restful July 4th. We didn't really do a whole lot. We just kind of chilled at home. We did go to a few of our favorite restaurants here in our neighborhood, but yeah, for the most part, it was just relaxing and nice. And I think that's what the holiday's supposed to be. So yeah, that was really good. It's been really hot here in New York, as everywhere else. I think everybody's talking about it, but we've had some really humid days, and that's made marathon training a little bit more difficult. Everything's still going well. I'm still on track and still getting in the long runs. Last weekend I had a 12-mile run on Friday, and it was super humid. I was just like destroyed by the end of it. Also, every run that I come back from, I'm just dripping in sweat. So it's that time of year. But then last Saturday I had a nice run in the rain. It actually like rained in the morning while I was running, which I don't normally enjoy, but this time it just felt so relaxing and calming just to kind of take care of the humidity a bit. So that was really nice. But yeah, we've just been kind of enjoying what summer has to offer, what we can enjoy for it, and staying inside, staying cool, staying hydrated, you know, all the things. But I hope you guys are all having a good summer as well. If you are new here, this is the Runner Stitcher. I think maybe I said that this time. I don't know. This is Flosstube number 18, and basically this is my channel where I talk a lot about my cross-stitch projects and journey, and a little bit about running as well. So I don't have a lot to discuss on running this time. Like I already kind of went over my marathon training things. The next race I have signed up for is a 5K on August 11th, the day before my birthday. And that's kind of the only thing I've got coming up. Since it's so hot, I really don't run a lot of races over the summer, especially on top of the training. So yeah, that's what I got coming up with running, but I am staying on target for the program. I've kept up with my runs each day, and yeah, it's been good. So that all is training for the Chicago Marathon in October. Hopefully it will be a little bit cooler by then. Yeah, okay, so I've got a lot for you today. I've got the giveaway winner from last week. I've got a new start. I've got a couple whips. One that you know is coming that a lot of you are anxious to see the progress on. And then I've got some plans. I've got a bunch of stitchy kindness this week. And yeah, so we'll just jump right into it if that's okay with you guys. We'll go ahead and do the giveaway from last week. So last week I said that I was going to give away the pattern called Early Americans number 3 Martha Washington by Little House Needleworks. And to win this pattern, you had to use the word house in your comment below. So I used the random YouTube comment picker, and we had 34 comments of people who were interested in this pattern. And the winner, I'll put your comment up here, but was Lynn Ellis 2448. So congratulations, Lynn. If you could go ahead and either send me a message on Instagram, or I'll also have my email address listed in the show notes below. Send me an email and I'll get your address, and then we'll get this shipped out to you. So congratulations, Lynn Ellis 2448. You are the winner of the Martha Washington Little House Needleworks pattern. Super exciting. Hope you enjoy it. So that is the giveaway. I guess we can move into my stitchy things. So Winston, I guess this is time for you to get down, because I need the space, okay? Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Hope you enjoyed that little intro with Winston. He always likes to make a little appearance on the video, and he got very excited when I asked him if he wanted to be on the Flosstube this week. So I don't know if he's getting the hang of it or what, but he seemed to enjoy it. So okay, let's go ahead and get started into my stitching. So the first thing I'm going to show you is my new start for the week, and along with this new start I have some amazing stitchy kindness. So Jess from ComoStitches reached out to me and said, hey, is your address still the same that I had before? I've got something I want to send you. And I was like, oh yeah, it is. Go ahead and that'd be great. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Had no idea what she was going to send me, but she knew that I was going to be stitching Donner from Nora Corbett. I'll pull out the pattern here. So this is my new start for Christmas in July, or Jolly July, and this is Donner by Nora Corbett. So she saw that I was going to be doing these, and she gifted me this beautiful bag. Look at the deer on here. I was so excited. As soon as I got it, I messaged her and I was like, thank you so much. This is amazing. I moved everything for the reindeer in here already, which you can see all the materials and things are in here that I've got. All the beads, all the Kreinik, everything. I was like, I moved it all in this bag already and I just love it. Her bags are super well made. Here is her little emblem, ComoStitches. If you can see that. Okay. Is it glaring? I feel like it's kind of glaring. Well, there you go, ComoStitches. Her bags are amazing. This is actually, I think, the third or fourth one that I've got that I purchased from her, and I was so happy to receive this as Stitchy Kindness. So Jess, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and link her Etsy shop down below. If you're not aware of Jess or ComoStitches, she puts up new bags each week on her Etsy shop. Friday, I think it's at 6 p.m. Central. Don't hold me to that, but you can follow her on Instagram and she'll list the times that she's going to have everything up there. But her bags go very quickly. So you kind of got to be on when they're released at the time. And she does a variety of bags, so they're not all vinyl like this. I love the vinyl ones. But yeah, I'll link her shop down below. Definitely go check her out. I was just, this is amazing. And this is also Teresa Kogut fabric, which I don't have any bags with her fabric yet, so that's pretty exciting as well. But I told Jess, I was like, I'm going to use this for years, because if I want to keep doing a reindeer each year, this is the bag it's going to go in. So that is part of my new start as well. Sorry about the zipper. So yeah, back to what I'm stitching. So this is Nora Corbett. This is part of the Christmas Eve Couriers series that she did. She has all the reindeer and then also the sleigh. I am hoping to try to complete all of them at some point, but this is my very first one, so you're getting a start on it. So I put 2 days into this project and I ate my vegetables. The reason I say that is because this is what I finished. So I completed the whole frame here, which is 2 rows of stitching and then 1 row of black back stitching. So it doesn't look like much, but I was just happy to have the frame completed, to know that it matched up, to know everything is kind of where it should be. And yeah, it's good to have that done. So now I just get to move on to the fun stuff. So I've got this slated for a few more days this month, which I'll talk about in plans, and we'll see how far I can get. And then I'll just keep working on it throughout the fall and Christmas season, and hopefully finish it by December or by Christmas. But the frame was super easy. Like I said, it was just two sort of rows of stitching. It's a white and then sort of a tan beige color, and then an outline of the black back stitching. The back stitching actually took longer than I thought, but really like how it turned out. It does really make the piece kind of pop. I'm also really happy how it's looking on this fabric. I think the white is going to look great. I think the deer is going to look good in the center. I think it's going to be very Christmassy. So yeah, I'm very excited. That's my new start. I don't have any stats on it. Again, I'm working from the paper pattern on this one, so no stats, which is odd for me. But yeah, it feels good to have the frame completed, and now I'll just work inside it. So I did want to mention that I have reached out to both Samantha, the Higa Stitcher, and Erica, Fibers and Floss Canada, asking them questions and getting their opinion on the reindeer, because I know they've done multiple of them. Samantha was so great in helping me pick out my fabric. I forgot to mention this last week, but I had sent her this option. I was like, what do you think? Do you think this will work for the reindeer? Do you think the color will be okay? And she was like, yeah, I think it'll be really good. So yeah, I went with it, and I'm super happy so far. I'm excited to see the deer come to life, but she was helpful with that. And then I also reached out to Erica, because around the border here, there are single stitches of Kreinik about every 10 or 12 stitches. Typically I don't carry my thread that far, 10 stitches, but they're just single threads. So if I didn't carry them, I'd have to do a single stitch all the way around this border every 10 stitches. So I was sort of asking her, I'm like, what did you do for yours? did you carry your thread? And so she was giving me some tips and tricks of what she did for that part. I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do each individual stitch. That just seems too much. But we'll see. That's what's next on the docket. So I'm gonna work on those. There's a few sort of things in the corner here. Let me just show you the pattern again so you can see what I'm going to be working on. But there's a few things here in the corner, and that's going to be what I'm working on next. So I'm going to kind of save the deer for last, but hoping to kind of finish what's left here on the border. You can see there's like little motifs here along the side. So I'm going to try to finish up the white and the border here, and then I'll work my way down from the top on the reindeer on Donner. So that's my plan. And that's my new start. That's the only new start I've got since the last time you saw me, which was a planned new start. And yeah, really liking it so far. And if I didn't say, that's a 32 count Colonial Blue Zweigart Lugana that I'm stitching it on. So, okay, let's move into my whips now. So whips are works in progress, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 whips to show you, which is a little bit of a surprise because I think I told you I was only going to be working on a couple projects this month, but I snuck in a few others. So I also do want to say, so this is the first time in a while that you will not see my Pixel Dragon Adventure Cell. You'll know that that is my weekday daily thread, and I sort of got out of the habit of it. I had the week of July 4th off from work, and so I was doing other things and I wasn't really in my normal routine. And so I didn't stitch it. And then the week after, when I went back to work, I just kind of wasn't feeling it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take 2 weeks off so they won't see it in this Flosstube, but then I'll pick it up again next week. So starting tomorrow, I will pick that back up as my daily thread, and you'll see some progress on that next week, but you won't see it today. So, okay, the first whip I'm going to show you is one that I haven't worked on since May. And that is the start I did with Sarah from Sew Me Sarah. It's called The Bee Queen by Tiny Modernist. And I don't have the pattern right in front of me. Let me grab it, hold on. Sorry about that, I thought I was more prepared. Okay, so here is The Bee Queen by Tiny Modernist. I just love her. That dress is gonna be so much fun to stitch. And yeah, I love all the flowers and motifs around her. It's a very good summer stitch. So I figured I've got to pull this out now. It's summertime and I want to work on this and get some more progress. I will say, so I bought this paper pattern on 1, 2, 3 stitch, and the pattern itself, which I won't show you, but it's a color pattern and it's really hard to read on this paper pattern. And I made a copy of it, and the copy is just as bad. It's like really tough to read the symbols because they're in the color, and they're very small. It looks like a big pattern because it's the full length of this, but the X's are very small, so it's hard to read. I'm doing fine with this section up here because it's not quite as many stitches altogether, but once I get down here into the dress, I don't think there's a way I'm going to be able to use the paper pattern. It's just going to be too difficult, and I wouldn't have really enjoyed the stitch. So even though I bought this pattern, I think I'm going to have to buy the PDF as well, which I know they have on, at least on their Etsy shop, maybe their own shop as well. But I think I'm going to have to just buy the PDF pattern as well, put it into Markup RxP, and I think that'll be a more enjoyable stitch for me to continue it. But just a word to note that these patterns are not my favorite ones. But the stitch itself, I love. So you saw where I was last time, and I've actually put in some good progress. So here is my updated Bee Queen. So last time you saw it, I think I had her hair, the moon, and like some of her crown done here. So you can see that I finished her face, and I think she looks beautiful. I love it. You can also see that I started, this white here is going to be the collar that goes around her neck. And yeah, then I started kind of counting this way. So I finished this flower and did some of the green stem up to finishing this white flower here. And then I started doing the mirror image on this side, which I actually didn't realize that it was a mirror image on either side. I kind of, at first glance, I just thought they were a little different, but it is the same, just kind of flipped. So yeah, working on the mirror image over here. I will say, I think my stitches are looking really good. So this is a 16 count oyster Aida, and I think that's the called for color, but I really just like how the stitches are looking. They're coming nice and fluffy. They look really good. Even the white stitches are looking pretty good. So I'm very happy about that. Stitching this flower doesn't look difficult, right? I had so many counting errors in this. So I don't think you can really tell, but these leaves are not all how they should be. Now, they're not all symmetrical in the pattern itself. So it's not like each leaf is the same design, just kind of rotated. So I think that's why it still kind of works here. I'm not going to try to mimic the same mistakes over here, just because since the flower is different and they're flowers, the petals are going to be different. I'm going to just leave it, and I think it'll still look okay, even if I get this one completely right. But there must have been 3 or 4 petals that I miscounted or had one too high, one too far to the right, but I think it looks good. But that was my counting error. I also made a counting error on these flowers, and this stem at the end is just a little too long. I think it's supposed to be one shorter. So I think it's the pattern. Honestly, it's hard to see and count the numbers on the pattern. So I think I was just kind of getting bogged down with that. But so because I made the mistake on this side for the length of this, I did copy that over here because I wanted this to look the same, and it doesn't affect anything else in the pattern, so I think I'll be good. But yeah, she's been really fun, so I'm happy to kind of see some more progress. It's nice to see the white is actually popping on the oyster Aida. I wasn't sure how that would come across. The moon blends in kind of a little bit at the top, but I kind of like that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. This is a big pattern, so her dress is huge, and that's where most of the stitching is, but I don't have a deadline on it. I'm just enjoying it while I stitch it. I'm gonna keep working in this top section here. I think I can fit the whole width of the pattern in this Q-snap, and so I'll finish what I can see here, and then I'll start working my way down, move it down, and work from there. But really happy to actually have some more progress on this and see her face. I think Sarah, when she had originally started it, I think she had most of her face done as well. So I at least had to catch up to her. But maybe I'll get this out a few other times this month or next month. It's a really nice stitch to work on in the evenings because it is on Aida and it's easier on my eyes. So after a long day, if I've been stitching a lot on something else, it's nice to pull this out and just have a more relaxing project that I can work on, which is why it got some progress even in a busy month. So maybe that'll continue. We'll see. Okay, next up is Gaia, the Earth Goddess. So Gaia, I don't have the pattern here either. I mean, I don't have the picture here. So I'll pop a picture here of what Gaia looks like. You probably all know, but you've also seen where I was last time. And I've only put 1 day progress in on Gaia, so it's not much, but it's at least a little bit of an update. And that was the section here. So I didn't have any of the bottom of her dress completed yet, and now I do. So I'll pull it in a little bit closer if I can. Sorry, this camera is like, it's hard to show, but this bottom section here, it's like alternating threads with Kreinik and then these different colors like white and yellows and oranges here, but it's alternating Kreinik, which is fun because it sparkles really nicely, but it kind of was rough to stitch that. It took me a while. I think I only added 416 stitches to this one, which puts me at approximately 11.15%. But the reason I only got that many stitches in the day was because this Kreinik took a while to do in between all those other stitches. It's sort of like a checkerboard style pattern. But it was fun to at least pull her out and get a few more stitches on her. It's really exciting to see where the green to the blue is going to switch. I think it's going to be at a good spot, and I just need to get more of the dress in to kind of get up there. But it'll happen eventually. I am planning on working this a few more days this month, so you will see more progress on this. This I started for Kat from Kat and Lily's birthday, and I started it along with Emma Bobbins as well. Emma is so far along, I've mentioned that before, but hers looks absolutely amazing. So go check out her channel to see some great progress. And Kat has made a lot of progress too. That's why I needed to pull it out. I'm like, I can't get that far behind everyone. I just had a lot of other whips at the time that I was working on. So this is Gaia, but I'm excited to pull her out more this month. All right, let me put her away. Okay, so next up is Saga from Long Dog Samplers. This is my Leap Day start, and the goal is to finish it in 4 years by the next Leap Day in 2028. And the past 2 weeks I've been able to add 1,148 stitches, putting it at 11.41%. So far I am on target with my goal. I've been meeting the number of stitches I need to do each week to get this accomplished, and that's been really exciting. So the last time you saw me, I was just about to start a new arch because I had finished the one from the previous week. And as you know, Long Dog Samplers gives a story along with each arch, and I thought it'd be fun to share this one with you again. The stories are just fun to kind of hear the inspiration behind the arch and what's going on. So I will read this to you. It's a little bit longer, so if you're not interested, you can kind of skip ahead a little bit. But this one is called Chair Yoga. Angelina Bird runs the Saga Chair Yoga classes. She firmly believes that with regular attendance, they can help to improve flexibility just like any other form of discipline. But as the name implies, it's performed while seated, thus reducing joint strain and stress. It's particularly beneficial for seniors or critters that are recovering from sickness or injury. The sedentary poses differ slightly from mainstream yoga in that cat-cow becomes lazy cow, eagle arms becomes roosting raptor, and downward dog becomes rather risky unless you're well insured and game for a laugh. Angelina opens her studio doors to anyone who wants to come along and join in the fun, be they creatures great or small, and over the years, she's helped many a little chickabirdie with balance problems, crabs with stiff joints, an incontinent sloth who required 2 chairs, penguins with bad backs, and even a racehorse with a torn tendon. She had to have a chair specially made for him. Then, one fateful day when the circus was in town, the king of the jungle came strolling in as bold as brass, gave a mighty roar to announce his presence, and everyone scattered for fear of ending up in the dead prey pose. But the stalwart Miss Bird didn't turn a feather. She used to migrate to Africa each winter when she was younger and was well versed in the ways of the big cats. She simply bid him welcome and carried on as if nothing had happened. And within minutes, the feisty feline had become so relaxed that he fell asleep in purring pussy pose. Bravo, Angelina. You're one brave bird. I thought that was so cute. So, you probably have an idea now of what this arch looks like, but you saw where I was last time, and here is the little yoga studio. So cute. So, this is the arch here that I worked on this time. I think last time I had completed everything over here, and I think I had maybe completed this little butterfly, which is actually off by a couple stitches. I think it's supposed to be a little bit higher. I had done that last week, and then when I filled in everything else, I realized, oh, it's a little too low. I counted over correctly and then started at the top when I should have started at the bottom. Anyway, I think it's fine. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to adjust it. I think it's far enough away from the bird's head that it's okay. But I think this is Angelina Bird, and she's the one running the studio, but as you can see, they're all doing chair poses. So the lion is on the chair here, this little bird is sitting on this chair, the crab is like dangling from these vines or flowers at the top, or the light, whatever it might be, and just a super fun stitch. And yeah, this arch is basically completed, so I will need to, of course, here at the bottom, carry this over, which I will do next time, and then I will be moving on to the very last arch of the top section. But again, I really do love this project. Every time I pull it out, it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy stitching in hand with it, and I love the color that it is. This is stitched with Silks for You PR207 on a vintage country mocha, and yeah, that's where I got to. So here is everything so far. It's crazy that I only have one arch to go on this side. I love it. Super cool. The only thing I need to kind of sit down and actually measure this before I get much further, but I know I talked about this before. My fabric is not cut on the line, so that's why you can see there's less of a margin over here than there is over here. I started it on this side. I started it on this side, stitched over to here, and then started stitching back that way with the arches. But because there's less of a margin up here than there is over here, that means my margin is going to get tighter on one of these sides the further I go down. Now, I think I'm going to have, it's a big piece, so I think I'm going to have enough margin on either side. It will get close on one of the sides, I know that, but I think it's still going to be enough. I just need to kind of sit down and figure out where these lines are going to go on the side. So I'm debating whether I kind of just work a stitch all the way down just so I can see the full border and know exactly where it is, or if I just kind of measure it, eyeball it, and see if I'll be okay. But the worst thing that could happen is if I get super far on this project and then realize it doesn't all fit because of the counting of the fabric. I have plenty of fabric. It's just I'm not sure what's going to happen because this is off, you know. I think it's this side that's going to be the problem, because this side seems to have more of a margin anyway, and this one is where I started. So I think as I go down, this is going to get closer and closer and closer to this edge. Anyway, that's a problem I need to sort of figure out and work on. But yeah, here's Saga. She's looking pretty good, I think. This arch was actually really fun to stitch, and I really enjoyed the yoga story as well. So enough about Saga. You see it all the time, so you know enough about it, but I'm just going to roll this up real quick and put this away. It's funny that one of the biggest pieces that I have is what I'm stitching in hand. I don't know if you guys have any tips for what to do with the extra fabric while you're stitching in hand, because this is a very floppy linen, so sometimes it's just a lot of fabric, and I don't really know what to do with it while I'm stitching in hand, but I do really enjoy it. I think I might try stitching some other projects in hand, but I also love my scroll frames. So, okay, the next project I've got for you is Mermaids of the Season Sal, and this is one that I've only worked on one day, so I only put in 319 stitches. So I'm at 17.19%. You can see where I was last time, and the 319 stitches doesn't seem like much, but it was actually a lot because I was working on her skin. So let's go ahead and pull her up. So here is the Summer Mermaid, and you'll know from last time that I only had her face completed. That's all that was done. So now I started working on her arm here with her hand up, and then her shoulders. I will work down her back, and then that's sort of the end of the skin there once I get down to her back. So those stitches are 1/1 half cross, and you can compare it with the other side, which are 2/1 half cross, and you'll see that the Summer Mermaid, she just looks a little bit bunchier, bulkier. This one's a little bit lighter, and I think I like the lighter stitches, so I'm probably going to do the rest of these mermaids 1/1 half cross for the skin. This is done on a 28 count Lugana called Spring Showers from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. This is pretty true to what it is. It's pretty blue, pretty bright blue. And yeah, so I finished her skin here, which is looking pretty good. And then I also did the summer portion of the little motif in the center here as well, with the pretty Kreinik going along the edge here. There's a few odd stitches of color that I need to add, similar to the greens here, but for the most part that center part is completed. I'll add those colors once I get down to them. They're the colors that are in her tail. So yeah, really fun to get the skin in, and that always takes longer, so I'm very happy with my progress for the one day. I'm gonna try to pull her out again one more day this month to make a little bit more progress. August is going to be a busy month for me just because we've got a vacation planned, and I'm not sure how that will work with my stitching. We'll see. But I do want to have this mermaid completed by September 20th. So I've got plenty of time. I've still got 2 months left, but just trying to work on her a little bit at a time to make progress. All right, and that is Mermaids of the Season Sal by Bella Filipina. Okay, the last one is gonna be no surprise to you guys. I'm sure you're all wanting to know where I got to on Lily of the Woods by Mirabilia. I will show you her design right here. This is what Lily is gonna look like. And you'll also see where I was last time, which was basically I had completed from about here up. So I have now moved the scroll frame, so you won't see this section today, but you'll see what I was able to get done below that. So Lily of the Woods, as you know, got called for both of my WIPGOs this month. She was on WIPGO twice, and both numbers were called for this month, which meant that the goal was to put in 5,000 stitches on her this month. And I will say that so far, since the last time you saw her, I've added 2,637 stitches, so that marks off my first WIPGO. So I've got one of the squares completed, and the other square was also for 2,500 stitches. So for the month, I'm at about 3,100 stitches on her. So I've only got about 2,000 to go, and I've got some more days slotted to work on her. She is now at 82.88%, which is exciting. So here is the bottom of the dress of Lily of the Woods. So since the last time you saw her, I added, I think I was up to about here. Yeah, to about here maybe. So I added this last branch of blossoms on this side and did all of those lovely stitches over there. And then I also worked on her dress. So her dress is almost complete. I've got 2 more colors to go underneath here, and then her dress will be completely done. And then of course on this side I've got the fabric that is draping over the branches, and I've got the wood log here as well. So still plenty of stitches left to go. I think I've got about 3,500 stitches left in the project, and 2,000 more to go for WIPGO, which will put me at about 1,500 stitches left, and that includes the beads. So I'll get a good portion of the stitching done this month, and I probably will just keep working on her this month because I'm loving getting so close to a finish, so close to the end, or at least the end of the stitching. So that is where Lily of the Woods is in her dress. It's been really fun. I think one of the days yesterday I put in about 806 stitches in one day, which I don't normally get that many, but the reason was the dress is just such nice block stitching. I think Erica from Fibers and Floss Canada, she talks about this, but you can just really get in the zone with her with Mira's in the dresses, because they're just nice block stitches. So you can get a lot done in a short period of time. It's not, you don't have a lot of color changes. You put in your 1 strand or your 2 strands of floss, and you can go for like 100 stitches without having to change anything, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm really happy and really excited to keep going. I will be finishing her dress next, and then I'll work more on that section over there for the next time you see it. So hopefully, yeah, the next time you see it, there will be only about 1,500 stitches left on this piece to go. And that includes the beads, which I'm really excited to get to. I am nervous about all the little treasures that are on her. There's a bunch of leaves that are placed on, and I've only stitched a treasure 1 time. So I'm kind of nervous about, getting those to sit right, but 1 step at a time. We'll see how it goes, and we'll get there eventually. But I do really enjoy her. I'm gonna be a little sad when she's completed. Of course, I want her finished and hanging on my wall, but I'm gonna be a little sad once she is done that I won't have her to pull out. So it's kind of bittersweet. But she's my first Mira, so I gotta get her done. But that is all the stitching I have for you today. So that's what I was able to get accomplished in the 2 weeks. Next, let's move on to my plans. So I just spoke about this a little bit, but my July WIPGO number 6 and 23 were both Lily of the Woods. I've now completed one of those goals, and I've got about 2,000 stitches to go on her yet, and that will complete my second WIPGO for the month. Now the second WIPGO number, that will actually give me my first bingo if I'm able to complete it. So I think the row that completes, I'm allowing myself to buy a new kit, if I complete that bingo row. So that'll be exciting. You'll have some hauls to look forward to in the future. Not that I need any reasons, because I seem to buy haul anyway, but it's kind of fun to get my first bingo for the year. Then my other plans, I've spoken about this before, my 5-4-3 rotation. So my 5 days this month, we're going to Donner. 2 of those days are completed. That's what it took to complete the frame. And I've got 3 more days to go, so you'll see some more progress on Donner later this month. My 4-day rotation was Gaia, and she got 1 day so far, so she'll also have 3 more days to go before the end of the month. And then my 3-day rotation, just because I knew I had a lot of stitches to do, was Lily of the Woods, and I have completed all 3 days for her already, even though she's going to get more this month as well. Okay, then the final plan I have, one second. The final plan I have, and I've talked about this a couple of times now, but it's actually going to be happening. This is Comfort Lighthouse from Carriage House Samplings. Such a beautiful pattern, great for summer, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to stitch up. Look at that crab, look at the mermaid at the bottom. I love this lighthouse. It's funny, the moon looks a lot like the Bee Queen moon, which is kind of fun. I think the ship will be fun to stitch and see come to life. So it's just a really fun, summery comfort stitch. I'm excited for it. And this project is living in another bag from Jess at ComoStitches. This is just her week. So this is the salt box bag that she had on her channel a while ago, and I was able to get one of those from her shop that time, and I absolutely love it. It's really great. The inside, which I'm going to try to not show you the pattern for that, but the inside is these beautiful flowers as well. Of course, matching colors, but really nice. So this project I'm going to be stitching on Picture This Plus. This is Wren in a 36 count. And as you can see, it's not a huge piece. It's going to be about this big. I believe that Picture This Plus is, I'm not sure if it's the called for. Let me see. No, it's not the called for, but I saw this stitched on Picture This Plus at Inspired Needle in Florida, and I just knew I wanted to stitch it on that fabric that the model was stitched on. So speaking of Inspired Needle, so I'm going to be starting the Comfort Lighthouse on August 1st, and I'm going to be starting with 2 fabulous people. The first is Alex, and she is on Instagram as Salix_stitches. I'll link her Instagram down below. She also is helping the Hathaway Stitchers run the Salander Instagram account that is new, which is awesome, and kind of lists all the sals that are going on that you can join in on. So Alex will be joining us on our start on August 1st, and then also we'll be stitching this with Laura from Lilly Stitches. She has a Flosstube channel. I'll link it down below. If you haven't watched her, please go check out her channel. She does amazing work. Every time her video comes on, she's just so enthusiastic about her stitching. It's just a pleasure to watch her talk about her projects. She does a lot of color conversions as well, picking the colors that she wants to use for the project. She also does some quilting, so if you're into that, I think she might even have a separate kind of quilting episode every once in a while. But she's really great. And the funny thing about this project is that both Laura and I separately went to the Inspired Needle in Florida. I think she was on vacation there. I was visiting my parents. My parents live about 5 minutes from this glorious shop. And so I went while I was visiting my parents, but she was on vacation there and went to the Inspired Needle. And I was so excited to hear her talk about her trip there because I knew exactly what she was talking about since I had been to that LNS. And then she shared some of the projects she kitted up from the Inspired Needle, and one of those was the Comfort Lighthouse. And I think it's because the model that was stitched and hanging on the wall was just so glorious. I don't know how anyone could look at that and not say, I want to stitch this. So the funny thing is, Laura and I both kitted this project up at the same LNS in Florida where neither of us live and have this project. So I reached out to her immediately and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is so funny. Do you want to start this together? We totally should do this. So I'm really excited about that. And then Alex also had it kitted up and I was like, please join us. Come join on August 1st. So the three of us will be stitching this and we're going to be using the hashtag Let Your Lighthouse Shine. And if you want to join in on this Sal, Let Your Lighthouse Shine Sal. If you want to join in, pick out your lighthouse pieces and let's kind of give them some love this August. This is going to be an ongoing Sal because we're all just starting this along together, but we're going to be working on it kind of at different paces probably. And so we'll just keep the Sal open. But I know there's so many good lighthouse pieces out there. And one of the new lighthouse pieces that I've seen was from Cottage Garden Samplings, their house series. The new one is the Lighthouse, and it looks beautiful. I don't have it yet. I think it's in the mail, actually. So I should be getting that soon. I can maybe show you next time. But it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I'll try to put a picture up here if I can. So if you're interested in stitching that, another great Lighthouse piece to pull out. But there's so many good stitches out there. So please join in to the Sal if you want to. We're excited to get this going on August 1st and then keep working on it. Okay, so that's all I've got for plans at the moment. I'm going to regroup a little bit and then I'm going to talk about some stitchy kindness and haul. Okay, so as you already saw, one of my stitchy kindness was the bag from Jess at ComoStitches. Again, Jess, thank you so much. That was so kind. I love it so much and it will be used for years to come. The other piece of stitchy kindness I received was something so kind from my friend Danielle. Danielle was coming to New York to visit for the first time, and she had reached out to me months ago just asking if I had any suggestions on what to do while she was there or things that she had planned if it sounded good. So we had been talking a little bit about that months ago, gearing up to her trip, and she just came last week, 2 weeks ago now, and she had reached out and said, hey, I've got some free time. Would you want to meet up, grab a pizza, and at least say hi? And I was like, yes, that'd be awesome. So we met for pizza and ice cream and just had a lovely time. It was so great meeting her in person, and we just talked about stitching and all the projects we were working on. She was showing me a bunch of the things that she has going, and we talked about, how many whips we like to have and don't want to have, and all of the good things. So we just had a really, really lovely time. Danielle I'll link her channel down below, but she's also on Flosstube as Danielle B's Crafting Corner. And she does a lot of blog style videos where she kind of shares her progress as she goes throughout the week and then puts it together in one video, which is really cool. She was visiting from Oregon and her LNS is Acorns and Threads. And so she had reached out and said, is there anything I can get you from Acorns and Threads? And kind of said, nothing in particular, but anything you think I would like. I love autumn things, but don't feel the pressure to get anything. But she got me this glorious goodie bag from Acorns and Threads. So the first thing she got me, which I've already used when I started the reindeer, this is a little measuring block. So you no longer have to try to measure 3 inches. You just put this block in the corner and you know exactly where 3 inches is in the corner of your fabric, and then you know exactly where 3 inches is on either side to know where to start your project in one of the corners. So I used this on the reindeer already, so thank you so much, Danielle. This is awesome, and it's got Acorns and Threads, the logo on there as well. She also gifted me, and I'm going to show this piece by piece, but she also gifted me this pattern called Acorns Give Thanks, and it's from Linda Keski. And I think she said that this was an exclusive pattern to Acorns and Threads. So I think that's the only place you can get it if you want to stitch this. But look at how cute these little squirrels are. I just love, love, love this acorn. It also came with these cute little beads. So there's a leaf and then 2 acorns here as well. I guess they're not beads, they're more like treasures. But this was so lovely and perfect. I love autumn. So I definitely will be stitching this up at some point. Danielle, thank you so much. That was so kind. She also gifted me some fabric. This is from a company I've never used before called Cedar River Linen. This is a 32 count and the color is Maple Bar. I think she said that Cedar River linen is also maybe exclusive to Acorns. Maybe you can buy it on a website as well, but I think they work closely with Acorns, so they carry a lot of their fabric. But look how beautiful this brown is. That is pretty true to what it is. It's a great neutral, and well, it gets washed out when you bring it forward, but this is really what it looks like, and I'm super excited to stitch something fall on this piece. It's just beautiful. And then she brought me a whole variety pack of different threads. So there's some, this is a Threadworks called Royal Blue, which is really pretty. This is Woolly Bully from Gloriana, which I absolutely love. It's got some modeling in it, some variegation, but it's a beautiful brown. She also gifted me some from Simply Shaker. This is Dungarees. My first Dinky Dyes. This is Evening in Paris, which is a lovely, lovely blue. And then she gave me some Classic Colorworks, which are all sort of autumny colors, and I absolutely love. I cannot wait to find a project for these. This orange might be my favorite. It's called Embers. It's so pretty. It's getting a little washed out there, but it's more of like a bright dark orange. There we go, that's better. But anyway, these are all threads that I've never tried before, and she was super excited to share them with me. I was super excited to get some things from Acorns and Threads. Maybe eventually I'll make it there at some point, but it sounds like an amazing shop, and the goodies were just amazing. So Danielle, thanks again for all that stitchy kindness. I really, really appreciate it. I also just wanted to say a quick thank you to James, who took advantage of the Buy Me a Coffee link below. Thank you so much, James. I really appreciate that, and that will go towards shipping expenses for the items that I give away on this channel, and really, really appreciate that. By no means is that required or expected or anything, but that was so kind. I really appreciate it. So now on to the rest of my haul for the month. The first thing I'm going to show is the Color and Cotton 6-strand floss club that I'm in. So these are the colors for July. They're really lovely. This green has some really nice variegation in it here. I really like this tan, and this is such a nice white. It looks super bright and nice. I can't wait to find a project for that. So yeah, really cool. Those are my flosses for the month. Then I think I shared this a little bit on my whip parade, which I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a whip parade or not, and I'm glad you enjoyed seeing an update on all the projects. It kind of felt like I had shown most of them pretty recently, so I wasn't sure if you guys would enjoy it, but I'm glad you did. It was fun to kind of go through all of them again and realize how much I want to stitch on each of them. And the ones I haven't gotten to in a while, pulling them out made me more excited about them. But I think I mentioned these on there. So I'm going to eventually be starting all of the Quakers from Lila Studio. So she's got Spring Quaker, Summer Quaker, Autumn Quaker, Halloween Quaker, and Christmas Quaker right now, and she's working on the Winter Quaker. So I've loved these patterns forever. I keep seeing everybody stitching them, the different pieces, and I really like the design. I decided to go ahead and get the Vicki Clayton silks to go along with each of these projects. So I think she already had on her website, on Vicki Clayton's website, I think she already had most of these as like pre-packaged kits that you could buy with her silks. And the one she didn't have was the Halloween Quaker. So I had reached out and just asked if it was possible for her to do a conversion for Halloween Quaker. She said yes, of course, she would love to do that. So that was what she did for me here. So these are the Vicki Clayton silks. Sorry, I'm not going to take them out of the package because I want to keep them all together for right now, but those are the Vicki Clayton silks for Halloween Quaker. And I'm going to be stitching this on a 40 count, let's see, this is a 40 count Haunted by Seraphim Fabrics. And I saw Halloween Quaker stitched on this. Someone was doing it on Instagram, and I reached out and said, what is that fabric? I need to have it. And she told me, and this is it. So this is what I will be stitching Halloween Quaker on with the Vicki Clayton silks. I don't know when I'll be starting this or pulling it out. I would like to do a start on it this Halloween. I think that would be really fun. But we'll see. We'll see what the schedule looks like. But I'm excited to have sort of the floss and the fabric kitted up and ready to go. That will be a new start coming. And then I think the one that I shared with you was the Autumn Quaker. So I also went ahead and got the Vicky Clayton silks for that as well. You can see here a little bit of the colors. They're just beautiful. One thing with the Vicky Clayton silks that I've never worked with them before, so I was just kind of wondering, how does everybody work with them while they're using the project? Do you put them on a floss drop? Do you keep them on these little circular rings? How do you kind of deal with the floss while you're working with it? I was thinking I might want to just cut it up and put it on a floss drop, but wasn't sure. So let me know your opinion on that. For Autumn Quaker, I will be stitching this on R&R Reproductions Winter Brew linen. This is also a 40 count, and it's a nice sort of tan fall fabric. I've never stitched on R&R before, so I'm excited to do that. Well, that gets really washed out, but that's kind of what the color looks like. So really excited. I think Samantha, the Higa Stitcher, is going to do a stitch along for this one starting on September 20th when autumn begins, and I will be joining along. So I will definitely be starting this on September 20th to get it going, and I'm super excited. I do have the pattern for Christmas Quaker already, so I'm in the process of looking for fabric for that one. And then I kind of picked out fabrics that I want to use for spring and summer. I don't have those PDFs yet, but I will be purchasing those in the coming months, and hopefully those fabrics that I have chosen for them. The last thing of my haul, this is it, I promise, is a kit I got on eBay. It's Dimensions, and it is called Honey Bear, designed by Doug Knutson. I just fell in love with it. I think stitching bears is something that reminds me of my aunt and my mom and what they used to stitch. And even my first cross-stitch piece that I did when I was a kid was a bear. So I just think Honey Bear is so, so cute. So I got this. It comes with a 14 count beige Ada, and I probably will actually be using that. But here's the kind of the floss and the Ada that it comes with. It's the full kit, and I'm really excited to get this started at some point. I think it's just a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that's all I've got for you. So hopefully you enjoyed this little update and seeing my progress on Lily of the Woods and a couple other projects. I hope you're all having a really good summer. I hope you're staying cool and enjoying the sun as much as you can, not getting too hot. But keep running if you're a runner. Always keep stitching, and be kind to whoever you meet on your journey. Bye for now, until the next stitch.